Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapprint Chronicles. Today we're coming back at you with another Ratchet video. This one kind of an obscure Ratchet, something maybe off the back wall of Ratchets. I didn't know much about this company before I found this Ratchet. This one happens to be a Truth R6 model, USA, and comes from the Truth Toll Company. But before we jump into the Ratchet, if you can do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button if you find these videos at all entertaining or helpful, I would appreciate it. And if you want to find other Ratchets and you don't want to scroll down through a bunch of videos, go to my channel and go to playlists. And in the playlist, you're gonna find all Ratchets itemized by company and manufacturer, and that will be, I suppose, a lot easier to find whatever you're looking for there. Okay, this Truth Ratchet, I went to an estate sale recently, and what did I find? I found a couple of things. I think, remember that Dremel machine, that old Dremel that I did a video of a couple of videos back? I found that, and I found this. This was just laying there, kind of weird, because it was just like, yeah, I'm here waiting for you. Here, come pick me up. Yeah, it was just like in the middle of the room. It was just, the Ratchet was just laying there. It was kind of weird. And yeah, I think this was the only Ratchet I found there, but kind of an interesting one. Like I said before, this is the Truth Company, and the Truth Tool Company started around the beginning, or soon after the beginning of the 20th century, and they were into chisels and punches, and they were, I guess, according to alloy artifacts, where I get the information from, they were kind of well known for their chisels and punches that were of really good quality. But then they got into automotive tools and sockets and drive tools, and so I guess they got into Ratchets also. I didn't see many examples of Ratchets. I seen on alloy artifacts. I saw this one, and that's about it. And an interesting side note to this is that I think they made Ratchets for other companies or retailers, because I think I saw recently a Wardmaster R6 Ratchet. It said Wardmaster and then R6 instead of Truth. So I'm pretty sure that Truth was making tools for retailers, much like more Drop Forge and Eastco was making tools for years for Craftsman and Sears. So, and a lot of the competitors, Sears, Craftsman competitors, other department stores did the same thing. They got tool companies to make tools for them, and they marketed them under their own brand names. Another interesting note is that the company supposedly is still around, and from like the mid-50s on, concentrated mostly on hardware for windows and doors, whatever that is, maybe hinges, I'm not sure, hinges and locks. I didn't even go, but supposedly they have a website, and they're still in business, but doing different things. I doubt they're doing hand tools. So I'm not sure when this was made. I would guess probably 50s or 60s, if I had to guess. It's a pretty long Ratchet. It's half inch drive, and it's about about 11 inches. Yeah, 11 inches, and that's pretty long for a half-inch drive, especially from that period, like 50s, 60s. Like usually a half-inch drive ratchet would be around like maybe 10 inches. 11 was kind of pretty long for a ratchet. It's kind of rough, especially the handle. For some reason they polished the head and did a good job there, but the handle, they just left it pretty rough. You can see all the marks here that were not smoothed down at all. On the tip, you see a really good size ridge there that was just left the way it is, and on the inside here also was kind of pretty rough. They have this small, like, little raised area here for the name and stuff, but besides that, pretty primitive. You see a little round housing here for the spring and ball, and from the look of this ratcheting action, you can tell that it's some sort of bat wing mechanism. Another interesting little detail here is that they do have like a little raised forged in kind of letter here or number. I think it looks like an S in a box. Not too sure. So let's open it up and see what this is made of. And it has 2 screws, 2 flatheads, and this is what they look like. It's 2 flatheads with oh boy, I should have got a bigger screwdriver. Let's see this. That's better. Okay. Like I said, the plate, the screws are kind of in an unorthodox kind of retention. Usually you have screws going through the plate from this side down and screwing into the plate. Here, nothing screws into the plate. They have these, they use the head of the screw to hold the plate in place on this side, on the anvil side. And yeah, just like I thought, I had trouble kind of getting it out. It's kind of pretty pressed in. So I take my little soft plastic. You could tell I've used this plastic hammer for it's all chewed up. It's a Harbor Freight little plastic jeweler's hammer, and there's more pieces have come off of the hammer, but we did get the mechanism opened, and here is the plate, and the plate is pretty thick, a good size plate there, and there are no holes, just a hole for the anvil side. And here is the gear, and the gear, of course, is a very coarse gear. I think this only has 20 teeth in it, so it's pretty coarse. And here is the peening. It looks like a massive crater of a peen job there. They must have really got the hydraulic hammers out to peen this ball detent in. And the ball detent's pretty big also. Okay, did you see enough of this? There's some of the teeth and what they look like. Alright. And here's the inside, and of course the bat wing. Just one tooth on this bat wing. I guess they figured 20 teeth, super coarse. There's no need for further teeth except for one. And the ball sits under there, and the spring under the ball. I'm not going to take the pawl out, because to take the pawl out, the pawl, this whole thing is the pawl. This big protruding pin that sticks out is part of the pawl, is the pawl. And they just take this other big pin here, a pretty good sized pin, and this how far that pawl protrusion sticks out from the top, and you see how thick that pin is there. And what they do is they just they took, actually the pin itself has a little bit of lines, kind of a little, I wouldn't, not sure what they call it, but kind of a little bit of knurling lines, that striations that go up and down from the point of from this point up to, I guess, kind of stabilize it or keep it from moving too much. And then they just peen it. They peen it here on top of the protrusion. So yeah, that is not going anywhere. It's pretty sturdy there, but it's kind of would you say is kind of in the way. If you need to get this into a tight spot, maybe this protrusion might impede you getting into those spots. I don't know. I guess this is from a different era where things were quite a bit different as far as room, and these old cars, you could probably sit inside of the hood somewhere, probably on the battery or something. If you needed to fix your cars back then, there was plenty of room, and something this coarse and big probably had no problems fitting in those. I wouldn't try that today with these new cars. My car is a small Honda, and I tell you, they make these cars now where it's, I don't know, you gotta be like rubber band man to get into some of these spots with these newer cars, because it's no space at all. But anyhow, this is the inside of this Ratchet, and this Ratchet is pretty, what would you call it, Fred Flintstone, very, looks very tough, looks, really beefy. You see these walls here, and you see the walls surrounding the paw here. So it doesn't look too fragile, even with just the one tooth there. And it looks like there was some overlap there. I think someone did test this Ratchet to see how much torque they could put on it. You see it was a little bit of deformation on the pawl tips there. But yeah, basically that's it for this Ratchet. Yeah, just pretty old school, built like a tank. And to get this back together, it's pretty simple, I guess, for most people, but right now, not for me. Let me see. Okay, And this is what it looks like when it's ratcheting. Oh boy, look at that. Funny. It's funny now that we have ratchets that have like 100 teeth, and you see something like this ratcheting. It's kind of really kind of nostalgic. And you put the plate back on, and this plate needs a little help. And you get your screws back in. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's this look at the Truth R6 USA ratchet from probably the mid 20th century. Okay guys, until next time.